We are caught between the hope of a new dawn and the shadows of a haunted past. Light beckons at the tunnel's end, yet darkness holds onto our backs. We stand at the threshold of soaring dreams, yet we are crippled by the weight of painful nightmares. But we choose the hope of a new dawn. We choose the light at the tunnel's end. We choose the soaring dreams at the threshold. We are the green sprouting across the desert lands. We are the ocean rising from the long calm. We are the panther awakening from a deep slumber. We are the new, brave and hopeful voices echoing across the length and breadth of the continent. My name is Chief Moomen. I am a spoken word artist. I also work in the media business as a producer of a television show on Metro TV. Spoken word is an art form, a performance art form that basically deals with performing your poetry pieces in front of an audience. And usually there's a little difference between written poetry. Written poetry is written for the book where people read, but spoken word is a performance in front of an audience, so it comes with its own sort of dynamics and exciting opportunities. I fell in love with spoken word after watching a performance of the American poet Maya Angelou. She was in Ghana for the Panafest and she performed at the National Theatre. And I remember as a child I sat watching her on television. I was awestruck and thrilled by her performance. That was the beginning of my love affair with poetry. And as I grew and went to school, I studied literature in secondary school, Tiamedia Secondary School. When I got to the University of Ghana, I read English and theatre art. I studied under greats such as Professor Anidoho and as well as Martin O. So I met a lot of spoken word performers, and thus began my career as a performing artist. At the very heart of what we do is creativity, As a performance artist, usually I perform in very embellished form. So I work with musicians, choreographers, sometimes artists. So bringing all of these facets of the art together requires some degree of creativity, innovation to fuse it into a wonderful whole. And it's the same with national development. I think that as a developing country, one of the most important things that we need to be mindful of is creativity. How do we create and innovate ourselves out of the many seemingly intractable problems that we have in our continent? And I think that if we encourage more people to think creatively, to think outside the box, we might and we would actually find the solutions to our problems to push our nations and continent forward. The universe itself is a wonderful symphony of collaboration, and everything works perfectly to just give it this harmony of great art, well, until natural disasters, of course. And it's the same with art. Art thrives on collaboration. So as a poet, as I mentioned earlier, I collaborate with other artists, with musicians, with choreographers, with photographers, cinematographers. It's about bringing all our resources, our ideas together and creating an artistic piece. For me, that's what I call the ultimate art. So a painter, a musician, a poet, a writer, we can all come together and create, the ultimate art that is in and of itself nature. So yes, I collaborate a lot with other artists, and it's something I like to do and I find it very exciting. Education is important to the extent that it helps you harness, polish, develop your art. Irrespective of the talent that you have to develop it. If you're a poet, you have to know the conventions that come with your art. If you're a photographer, you have to know how to handle the camera. So there's some level of education that is important, but that education only seeks to polish what you are as an artist and not to interfere with your art. But sometimes it can be tricky because as an artist, you want your education to enhance you, to build you, but you don't also want it to make you conventional, to become like any other person, and that can be very important. So you have to know the rules of the game in order to break them, to be a renegade. Some of the greatest artists in the world that we've had have all broken from convention. Shakespeare broke from the convention of writing rhythmic poetry to free verse. So as an artist, yes, education is important, but you must ensure that your education does not serve to make you conventional, does not serve to put you in a box, but to enhance you and make you reach for the stars, the moon, or whatever you want to reach out to. Does it pay? Well, I must say it can pay. It can pay better. But I should also be grateful for the opportunities that spoken word has, given me. I think that we are now trying to commercialize it in Ghana. We are now getting people to give us paid gigs. So it is paid. I was able to establish this art center, Bambu Centre, through some of the returns I've made as a performance sport. Is this something you can maintain, as a full-time job? At the moment, no. I work in other places and still do poetry part-time, but I think that it's paid now a little, but it can get better in just about how we would brand ourselves and make it commercially viable without it, of course, interfering with the arts in and of itself. Over the years, I've had great opportunities to perform at many places, corporate, national, cultural, entertainment platforms, the Ghana Music Awards, mention it. But one of my most exciting challenges and performances was putting together the Heroes Day celebration. Now that is a celebration that is held annually on the 28th of February to honor the 3 ex-servicemen and other ex-servicemen who were shot during the 1948 riots in Ghana. And the performance was challenging because I had to work with a lot of other artists, a cast of about 60 people, dancers, musicians, a choir, instrumentalists, and bringing all of these people together as a lead narrator, writing the scripts, co-directing it with my good friend Kari. It was a very exciting journey, and we've done it for 3 years now. It keeps going stronger and stronger, and I'm excited with the people I work with and with this performance that we put up, and I look forward to more years of putting up Heroes Day performances. Oh wow, what next? Many things, great things. I'm currently working on my album. I want to release 2 albums simultaneously. I'm working on my anthology of poems. I'm also writing a lot of short stories. In the near future, I want to do big stage performances, dance, musical, poetry, drama. Basically still being in the art, being more productive, branding myself very well, having an active social media presence. A lot of my friends have been complaining about my incompetence on social media, so expect my material on Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, YouTube, Viber, whatever you call it. I'm gonna be there. So basically, churning out more stuff, quality videos, releasing my albums, my anthology, and my stage plays. This is the dream. To see a world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wildflower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. Those are the words of the poet William Blake. And my advice to anybody in this world is know who you are, discover your talent, put your passion into it, and make a difference no matter how small it is. This world is too short not to give our best to it. So yes, be the best of what you can be and help the world in any way you can.